Hello and welcome, race fans, to the OB Builders Cup Series live on Grid Vision from the wonderful Monster Mile, Dover Speedway. I'm sitting here in the booth. Sheldon Atkins, joined by Taylor Burris and Austin Derbyshire on the production truck. Taylor, how do you feel about Dover?
Well, we are here at the beautiful Monster Mile, just up here in Dover, Delaware, and I gotta say, this track here, which used to formerly be a racehorse track before they switched to a different set of horsepowers, but this track here, phenomenal mile circuit that has provided some incredible racing throughout the past decades of motorsports action here for the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks and ARCA series. Of course, we'll see the action kick off this weekend as well, but I gotta say, it's gonna be incredible to see how these drivers negotiate, because I know if we remember what happened last night, a little bit chaotic for how some of these drivers were able to get around this circuit.
Yeah, we saw a lot of crazy moments yesterday, especially with the entry into turn 3. A lot of cars really close to the track surface, but right now, taking a quick look at the championship standings, Justin Levine has been overtaken by Sean Conklin in the point standings now, 35-point gap between the two. Brandon Paslock with Derek Heitman and Patrick Gitter rounding out the top 5 here in points. But we're going to roll into the grid here and get this thing going as quick as we can. Nope, never mind. We do not have time for grid. A bit of an early start here as the cars are now taking down the back straightaway here. Lights out on the pace car, getting ready to go green.
Yep, it is going to be Sean Conklin and Tommy Gossett on that front row as we get set to go racing with Sheldon. And as they get themselves ready to go, Sheldon, take them away.
Absolutely, as these cars wait for the pace car to dive off of the track. There it goes with the deep descent down pit road, missing the barrels, fortunately. Working themselves into the OB Builders Cup restart zone here. And the green flag is out. We are underway. Good clean start here from the first couple of rows. A little bit of wheel spin in the second row, though. Patrick Gitter getting to the gas, or a couple of rows back, getting to the gas a little too quick. Going to keep it straight here, though, as we work through 1 and 2. Conklin going to pull out to a decent advantage over Tommy Gossett down the back straightaway.
Side by side, a little further back as they watch on. Adam Benefield jockeying for position as Roger Pierce goes up to the top side of the racetrack. He's all by his lonesome as he's got right there behind Patrick Gitter.
Around is Benefield.
Benefield hits the inside wall. Gathers it back up, but he's going to lose a ton of time, though.
Car got a little bit free coming out of turn 4. Does a great job to avoid destroying it, but did get a decent knock on the left side on the inside wall there. So it's going to be interesting to see if he did any suspension damage to the machine, but so far still trying to carry the thing around here.
Yeah, that was a tough break right there, and Adam Benefield's probably come down pit road here as Roger Pierce, one of the first drivers to go right up to the top side of the racetrack to try to get the ball rolling for him as he's trying to see if he can build some momentum as they work their way down. There you see that 27 Caterpillar Toyota really putting the effort in, trying to get around Tommy Gossett.
Pierce with a good shot of momentum here down the front straightaway as he get a look at what happened to Benefield a couple of laps ago. Right here coming out turn 4. Bit of a tricky aero spot. Maybe had a little bit too much wheel sawn into it there, trying to avoid getting aero push from the machine in front of him, and just enough to snap the car down the front straightaway. But it does a good job keeping the thing in one piece and keeping it moving forward. Because that could have been a pretty costly mistake for a handful of drivers there, especially coming out turn 4.
Yeah, absolutely, and we see here time and time again, Sheldon, racing at Dover, where off the turns, you see how that car just undulates off corner exit because of how much of an incline and banking is even on the back straightaway here, which is a very critical of how the car handles, even right here on the front straight as we watch on here with the cameras with our competitors trying to now just lurk around the circuit with the 76 of Derek Heitman. It's so critical that as soon as you come off corner exit, you got to be careful not to just slap the outside wall, which we will see as trouble for one car who nearly loops around that Shane Floor.
And he does loop it around the back straightaway on the bottom of the track. Luckily, nobody going to tag him on the way by. But a big slide for Shane, and I mean, that's just, you run into that here. And in years past, this place hasn't seemed as difficult. But this year with the new tire and everything, it just seems like these cars are way more on edge than they have been. I mean, we've got the cars pretty much plastered to the ground all the way around here, and you see it's just a little loose, saves it, and loses it again.
Tough break right there for Shane Clore, who was having such a decent run. He was running inside the top 10, and unfortunately for him, he'll have to go back down and try to figure out what he can do to adjustments. But we'll see how this all plays out. But I got to say, Sheldon, this track here, the Monster Mile, let's talk about the keys to the race. And we're here at the concrete jungle itself here at Dover, and that means one thing. This concrete is going to chew up these tires pretty quickly. It is going to be difficult. You got to be able to see how these cars handle as the run progresses. And speaking, of course, how the car handles, got to talk a little bit about how the weather is. Unlike asphalt, concrete's a little bit different when it gets hotter or colder when the sun is out around the track. So you got to keep up with that in order to prevent yourself from being caught off guard with the handling of your NASCAR Cup car around this circuit. And finally, I hate to say this, but what's for dinner tonight, Sheldon? Well, it is pretty much every single one of these cars but one who ends up winning here tonight, because Miles the Monster is hungry, he is famished, and he is ready for seconds here tonight.
And we're going to pull up the broadcast picks here today. I'm going to have to go with the 87 machine, the Rocket Man himself, Austin Estrom. Remember him always being good here in the B car back in the day. Looking to see if that transpires here for the Cup car. How about you, Burris?
Well, I'm going to go with the driver of Patrick Gitter. He's on his way to work his way up through the field in that number 21 Forte machine. And I got to say, he's going to be one to watch. He's running currently P5.
And in the production truck, well, looks like we're going with Tommy Gossett, and another new paint scheme for Tommy this week with the Budweiser 07, which is significantly better than the cursed Shell Pennzoil number 88 Toyota Camry he pulled out onto the track last night in NIS. I mean, you should have seen it. It was Kevin Harvick's paint scheme with the Dell Jr. 88 on the side of it on a Camry, and
I don't know how I feel about that.
It looked like something somebody would have put on NASCAR shitposting at some point. It was pretty bad. It was just very cursed.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a Budweiser Kevin Harvick paint scheme on a Toyota right now either.
Yeah. Tommy's really towing the line here. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is clean looking paint. I will give him that.
Yeah, it's nice. I just don't know how I feel about it with a Toyota out there.
Of course, the way the label sits, if you squint, it kind of looks like a Ruby Tuesday car.
Well, the Fortis, how about this? The CFM and Fortis machine right there behind, and the Chevrolets, the 333 and that 21. I got to say, that's one of the sharpest looking paint schemes with that little bit of a chrome throwback to Kevin Harvick's days in the 29 machine.
Gitter's paint's always clean. One thing I always enjoy looking at up here in the booth, but working into the restart zone here. Green flag is back in the air. Sean Conklin with an easy launch here. Bit of wheel spin on the outside line for Pierce, though. Going to almost puts the thing into the fence for about a second. Really chucks up the top lane. Now they're going to be side-by-side down to 1 and 2. Tommy Gossett to the inside of Pierce. And it looks like Pierce is going to have the advantage coming off the corner. And now Gitter's looking to the bottom. 3 wide into turn 3.
You don't want to try to do that too often here. As 3 wide, they'll go back down to 2 wide as they come off at turn 3 and 4. There you see Derek Heitman trying to work that outside lane to get around Tommy Gossett for that third position. Side by side, he'll send it in deep on the top side, but then you see Gossett pushing him up the track a little bit right there as they come off turn 2. Heitman, though, clears him, moving into P3. It's a Toyota 1 through 4.
Yeah, Gossett got a little bit tight there through 1 and 2. Loses a lot of momentum, gives the opportunity to Heitman. Now he's getting contested by Patrick Gitter here on the front straightaway. And Evan Say taking little peeks at the bottom of Gitter. And Evan Say, that's going to be one to keep your eyes on, too, because we saw a lot of pace out of his teammates last night in the NIS. And, as crazy as last night was, be interesting to see. It looks like the Sean Conklin, Pierce, and Heitman, all these guys, looks like they got these cars dialed in a little bit better than what they had last night. Definitely a bit of a struggle, but looks like striking business as usual here for the Ryco machines up at the front.
Absolutely picking up where they left off here. As there you see the 333 of Evan C. almost tapped the outside wall coming off of turn 2 right there. He's going to try to stay tucked up behind Patrick Gitter. Then you have the driver of Tim Wortman Jr. right there behind Levine. He hits the wall again off turn number 4 right there. Tough break for Evan C. as you ride on board with Tim Wortman Jr. with Joseph Kazi and Justin Levine coming down upon him as they come off of turn 2. Then you have the 22 of Randy Belk right there in the hunt, trying to hold off the 33 of Chris Vincent.
And down to the bottom, here comes Justin Levine to the inside of Joseph Kazi through 3 and 4. Kazi going to let him have the spot. Justin's been another one that's been pretty quick this week. Couple wins in the A Open, handful of runner-ups. Mac Tools Camry's been pretty hot for pace this week. A big fan of Dover. Talked to him earlier in the week, said he loves this place.
It can be a favorite for certain drivers who want to get around this track. I mean, it is once you find the right setup.
Oh, Gossett hard into the fence out of turn 4.
Tommy Gossett's going to lose a couple of spots right there, as a matter of fact, as they work their way around the circuit here, and he will drop back all the way to P5 after running inside the top 3.
And that right there, that's one of those, that hit kind of has me concerned about the right front suspension on the 07 machine. He hit that wall a ton coming down the front straightaway. Just got a little bit free coming out turn 4. Tried to correct it, and as soon as he went to turn that wheel to the right, it just overshot itself straight into the fence.
Well, he pretty much ran the slowest lap out of anyone inside the top 10. We'll see how he gets himself back going this time by as he works his way off turn number 4. As Sean Conklin picking up where he left off, he has currently a 9/10 of a second lead over the rest of the field, and Tommy Gossett, he's doing okay. He just ran a 23.9, only a 10th off your race leader, as you're on board with Sean Conklin in the number 10.
Really see it from the broadcast camera, but when you're in the car, that transition into turn 3, or the transition into turn 1 as well as turn 3, but into 1 it's a little bit smoother. Into 3, it's like you're falling off a cliff, landing into the corner.
Absolutely.
It's interesting to see how some of these guys, are able to attack that. You see the wiggle right there coming in, and when the track gets real cold, if we get to a point where we see that tonight, I doubt we will, because I know that this series loves to make it all about driver skill and talent, and take away pretty much anything that can be a little bit of a luxury to kind of make things easier for these guys behind the wheel.
We also, another thing you got to be careful with, Sheldon, with that, especially going into turn 3. You saw that little bobble right there. You're going both over a nice little bump right there as you enter into the corner. So you got to be careful of catching that as quickly as possible and not want to try to saw on that steering wheel too much, because that will just eat away at those tires very quickly.
The only thing I can think of that's worse than that on the NASCAR circuit is the entry to turn 1 at Charlotte.
Yes.
That's the only other place that I've had
Iowa.
Yeah, but Charlotte and Dover are the only two places where I've just gone into the corner and I've felt the car load up more so on the side skirts or the rub stops than anything else, as we see Shane Clore losing a spot here to Adam Benefield a little bit further in the back.
Yeah, Adam Benefield currently 1 lap down right now, so he's trying to get his way up through the field. He's currently just around the 25th position. Randy Mullins, the next car, he's going to try to catch up to and hopefully be that first car 1 lap down in case another caution were to come out later on today.
Benefield trying to recover from that hard impact with the inside wall that we saw about 2 laps into the race. Got plenty of time, though. 23 laps into 260. There's a lot of time to make your race come back to you here.
And the thing is, he's got the pace. Last time by, he ran a 24.138. In fact, the leaders as well last time by ran a 24.134. So he's running up with the same pace as your race leader. It's just, unfortunately, with the damage that he received, he had to come down pit road, fix the damage, and that put him 1 lap down.
We got our eyes on Joseph Causey there for a second in the DeWalt Power Tools machine, sitting in 8th place. Good top 10 run for him. I know that him, as well as Levine and pretty much the majority of the field, unless their last name is Conklin, is more than thrilled that we are done with road courses for a little bit here, as it's still a ways to go. I think, Watkins Glen is our next shot making right turns, as we see a close battle here. Almost a little bit of contact out of 1 and 2 between the 4 machine and the 43 of Chris Hudson.
Yeah, Chris Hudson trying to work his way up through the field, currently 16th, as Brian Johnson's just trying to push him up the track a little bit, get him out of shape as they make a little bit of contact side by side heading into turn number 1. He'll push him up a little higher, but that gives a little bit of momentum over there to Chris Hudson as he comes off turn number 2 side by side. They still make contact, banging doors as they come down into turn 3.
Door to door down to 3, but this time looks like Oh, it looked like the Ford machine, Johnson was going to have the advantage, but no, Hudson pulls it back on the outside. Now Johnson at the disadvantage coming into turn 1 as the 43 machine has the momentum. And that outside line, you can make it so difficult to pass here if you're just consistent with that top lane. As you see, the Ford machine now conceding down the backstretch and falling back in line behind Chris Hudson. Chris Hudson's going to hang on to fight another day here.
It's almost a detriment, Sheldon, if you think about it, at the early stages to be fighting so much with someone who's on your outside. Because if you think about it, with how these cars are and how quickly the tires can go away in this race, it's better to just go ahead and give that position away, save your tires, let him burn his stuff off, and then slowly reel him back in later on in the run if you take care of your equipment. That's one of the things I always see with some of the top front runners. They'll either run away from the competition in the early stages and continue to where they can take care of their tires when they get to that point, or they'll give up those spots and slowly start reeling you back in order when the late stages of the race, as we ride on board with Derek Heitman, who is reeling in, or Roger Pierce in that number 27 machine. He'll look to the inside, side by side, sends it on in, and Pierce
it's gonna be
almost
close.
makes contact with him.
Yeah, Pierce held him down there on the bottom of the track, and it took the air off of the right side of Heitman. Heitman had to chase it up the hill a little bit, got a little tight down there. Good move for Pierce, though, going to hang on to the second spot for now. But he's still got a mirror full of, well, I guess Bridgestone green is what we call that.
I'd say that's so. Bridgestone green or Bridgestone lime or something like that.
It's definitely bright.
It's very bright.
But being a lifelong Ward Burton fan, you know which paint scheme I have to pull for in the mix here.
I'm guessing it's that Caterpillar Toyota.
There's that Caterpillar Toyota out there. It's still special up there in second place.
But as we watch them work their way through nose to tail, they have checked out as well from the rest of the competition by about a second and a half. And here comes Heitman back down to the bottom of the racetrack. And they're going to go side by side.
And it looks like Pierce might concede here. Nope, going to hang on the right rear quarter panel, get the drive off the corner. A little bit of door contact between the two now down to turn 1. Heitman trying to push Pierce out of line. Now Heitman gets loose on the bottom. Slides up about a lane and a half, falls back in line. Gonna have to try again here. And if you're Heitman, you got to be, kind of careful about this now. You've tried to get the bomb line to work a couple times. So, the one thing we know, if you're not able to square off your corners, you start burning into that right front tire. And this is one of the few tracks, and I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, Taylor, but this is one of the few tracks where you can actually blow a right front with just standard wear and tear in a race.
Yeah, and that's something we could possibly see here tonight, where drivers will actually blow that right front tire here pretty quickly if they don't take care of it. I've only seen it a couple of times, and unfortunately I've been the victim of once blowing a right front tire in certain official races. That was a while ago, but it can happen.
Yeah, I've done it a time or two at Dover, back when I first started in the B car. But Tommy Gossett right now in hot water, and he gets loose off of turn 2. Saves it. No, back around the track in front of Edstrom.
There's that self-cleaning we were talking about.
Or was that Causey? I couldn't tell which one. Boys, y'all got to invert or something. And Gossett hard contact to the inside wall. He's just been struggling since he had that wall contact earlier in the race.
And it looks like he didn't get any help by the looks of it.
No, he got
Lost
loose
it.
coming up out of the corner. The same gremlin that we saw hit Benefiel. Right on board with Tommy here.
Yep, right there.
Yeah. You just got to be very careful with your stuff here. Just a couple laps of overcooking that right rear tire, and you're guaranteed to go through that.
And it's safe to say everybody's coming down pit road here. 36 laps completed, and time for fresh tires and fuel.
Sean Conklin leads the charge onto pit road here. Looks like everybody getting into their box pretty clean. No real issues. Now, the one thing that drives me nuts pitting here is the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit.
It is one of the most difficult pit roads to get on, one of the most difficult ones that you have to be careful with as far as exiting. And also, I have to say, I find this pit road, as far as going a lap down quicker, more difficult than even that of Bristol or Martinsville.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks. It's just this is the one of maybe 2 or 3 tracks on the service that you really feel the sense of speed. Like, I don't know what it is about Dover. I mean, it's definitely the layout, right? The steep banking, the concrete that gives you all the grip in the world, the ability to be on the throttle as much as you realistically can stand. But there's just something about this place. Like here in Bristol are 2 tracks where you feel like you're absolutely flying
Yeah,
compared to
absolutely.
anywhere else we go. Like, we go to Michigan and we'll crack 201 miles an hour into turn 1 and only drop like, what, 25 miles an hour corner center? And it just doesn't feel like it. Like, it just feels like you're trudging along at a snail's pace. But you come here, man, you feel like you could actually bust your ass here.
Adam Benefield does get back on the lead lap after this caution period here, as we are now lights out on the pace car. Fred, the pace car driver, hard at work once again as they come around to get the green flag from Barney the Flagman in a few short moments.
I do have to say, this field has done a really good job, too, so far, giving each other leeway, giving each other space. We see some close battling, but we haven't seen, any major chaos, knock on wood, so far. Just a couple snaps out of the corner. It's been the worst of the chaos so far today. The cars load through 3 and 4 here. Lights out on the iRacing pace car. Field in the hands of Sean Conklin and Roger Pierce as they get into the restart zone here. Flag is in the hand. The green flag is out. Conklin with a good launch here. Going to get about a car length and a half separated over Roger Pierce coming into turn 1. Pierce throws a last-second block on a Heitman. Heitman now going to opt to try and take the top line to try and find some momentum to get him past the Caterpillar machine. Going to line up right behind him, though. Not able to get it out of turn 2 this time.
Here comes Justin Levine down on the bottom of the racetrack to get around Patrick Gitter. Can't quite make it work. Gitter will slide back in front of the nose of that 19 Toyota Camry as they work their way down the front straightaway. A little bit of side-by-side action further back. Round 11 between Randy Belk and I believe that is going to be the 33 of Chris Vincent. So the battle for P10. Belk trying to get the outside going, slaps the outside wall, gathers it back up, but that's going to be some significant damage, though, to the door of that number 22.
Doesn't look as bad as it could have been.
Yeah,
as long as that right front fender is straight, and it looks up here in the booth, looks like the right front fender is fine. So nothing too bad. Maybe just a little bit of extra tire heat for the double deuce. He should be fine to continue here.
Yeah, thanks to these composite bodies, they're a little bit more durable compared to what you would see on the Gen 6, 5, or 4 currently, as well as the steel bodies of the Gen 3 87 Cup cars.
You hit the one that I can tell you firsthand. You hit the wall on the Gen 4. You might as well just pull it down pit road and call it a day.
Exactly. You're done for pretty much.
Because half the time if you tap the wall on that thing, it'll throw the right front Goodyear in your lap. They're very fragile. Incredibly fun. Which, brings me to my my next docket here. Recently put out a petition for an open series for the Gen 4 car. Everybody should go check that out and sign it. Let's get some open setup high horsepower racing again. What do you think, Taylor?
I say let's do it. Field now works their way through. We'll watch on as Sean Conklin leads the charge with Roger Pierce hot on his tail for here at the moment. Let's see how it, though, plays out as we progress further into the race as he works his way around the circuit. Everyone's single file for the most part, just trying to log some laps, take care of their equipment here in this stage of the race. As just as I say that, here comes the 25 of Greg, or the 2 of Joshua Hyatt.
One car around out of turn 4. John
23.
Bender. Heavy contact with the inside wall for the Silver Bullet.
That is a tough break there for Bender as he was having a decent run. Let's take a look at the replay.
Through 3, looks like Doesn't look like that car was ever truly settled through the corner. You see a little bit of back end movement and then just coming out of 4. Quick snap and just hard into that inside wall.
By how that camera angle looked, it looked like the car just kept wanting to turn more and more and more, not go straight and back up. So a tough break there for the 23 at John Bender, as he will have to try to hold on here and hope for a caution here shortly.
Side-by-side action here, a little bit further in the pack. Austin Edstrom down to the inside of Joseph Causey through 1 and 2.
Now, this is a fun thing to try to tell apart. The Stanley or the DeWalt, who's got it?
Well, if you squint, you can almost tell the difference in yellow.
Exactly. That's the only thing. Everything else is exactly spot on the same as they come off turn 4.
Just invert the paint schemes. We won't confuse you all as much. Austin Edstrom going to fall back in line, though, behind Joseph Causey. Causey not giving it to him there.
Riding on board here with Edstrom, who gets a great run off turn number 4. He'll now try to look once again back to the inside, side by side, heading into turn 1. The 87 going to try and push Causey up the track a little bit. Not going to work, though. Causey powers his way back through on the outside to retain the 7th spot.
It was a pretty strong run here for all these guys. Got all 3 of their cars sitting here in the top 10. Justin sitting there, P5, Causey and Edstrom fighting at it for 7th and 8th. You see Edstrom starting to look down to the inside again, not able to get the momentum he needs to get to the back bumper of Joseph Causey, though, here on the front straightaway. And Tim Wortman Jr., the good runs continue, sitting in 9th place right now. You know, I think he's just been a consistent shoe-in for these top 10 positions week in and week out. I mean, hell, even at the road courses, he was up there all race long. So Tim definitely rising to the occasion here with the talent level of this series, you know, spiking after 2 or 3 weeks. And Tim just keeping his foot in it and not really letting it get to him.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of how he's going about doing this for him as he works his way around the circuit here. Keeping an eye on how he works his way through, but he's just sitting in the catbird seat, ready to go for the move once things get going for him. There's a lot of things still up for grabs as they come off into turn 1 and 2. There you see the one of Nicholas Isaac currently sitting P12.
Yeah, that's the name that we haven't covered any yet this season. Well, very rare when you see a purple car on track.
Very much so.
Definitely a standout. And right behind him, Lou Christian, who I know is probably the happiest person in the world that we've gone back to ovals. Did pretty good at Sonoma last week, but a bit of a struggle here and there at Chicago, and just dog week, so to speak, when we went to Daytona Road Course a few weeks ago. Lou Christian out here just putting together good, quiet performances. Would not be surprised if we see him work his way up in the top 10, hell, maybe even the top 5 before this thing's over. Front of the pack right now, Sean Conklin grows his lead now up to just a little over a second between him and Roger Pierce. We get the I rating on display here, 8,607 for Sean Conklin. Pierce sitting there at 6,100 with Heitman sitting 6,400. This is a very strong strength of field here in this series.
Absolutely. It's one of the highest I rating series, I have to say, in the business, as starting to get a little cloud cover now heading off on the track right now. Mostly on through the middle of turn 1 and 2, as we'll take a look here. Heading down the front straightaway. A little bit of shade. That's going to cause the track right there to cool off just a little bit. In fact, in the past couple of laps, it's gone down about 2 degrees.
Yeah, that's been the nature of the beast all week. It feels like you blink and we have different track conditions here. I know A-Open has been like that. NIS was like that last night as well. It's this is one of those tracks where it's just so difficult to chase after what you need, because it just changes so quick. I mean, heck, even the cautions, the track kind of drops in temp a little bit, not as much as it did back in the days when we had full dynamic, but you definitely notice a big difference every run here. Everything's pretty tame throughout the field right now as we got eyes on Tommy Gossett still nursing heavy front splitter damage on the '07 machine.
Even with that damage, he still has crawled his way back up to a 22nd running position right now. Last time by, a 24.4. He's currently about a tenth off of those inside the top 5.
Oh yeah, well Tommy's not going to give up until the either the car is completely done for or the checkered flag is out. That's somebody that refuses to quit at any point here on the service, no matter how deep of hot water he's in. He's always going to be out there scrapping, trying to pick up the next spot. You got to have a lot of respect for somebody like that. You see him right now going toe-to-toe with Josh Schaffner. And Schaffner in the corn mobile this week, as per usual. Here comes Tommy down to the inside, going to step the pass here into turn 1. This is the battle for 22nd. Schaffner going to use the outside lane, though. Going to go up the hill a little bit, try to get the momentum off the corner. It's going to help him this time, but Tommy probably going to try and do the same thing here into 3 and 4. Yes, he does. Sends it up high. Now going to try for that late arc. And, man, I love doing this maneuver right here that Tommy's pulling, because you get such a run down the straightaway when you do it, and there's not much they can do to contest with as we see him dive it down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Schaffner going to try and hang on the quarter panel. But he's going to get tight. Tommy's going to take the spot. Tommy's moving up to P21 here.
Yeah, he'll pick up another spot and work his way through. Same thing with Adam Benefield, who's going to follow suit. Stay right in the tire track for that 07 machine.
Benefield just lurking right now. Knows that he was given the break of a lifetime with that incident he had a handful of laps into this race to not completely destroy the car. You see him just kind of tiptoeing his way around the treacherous Monster Mile. Now down to the inside of Tommy Gossett. Gossett going to try and key it up on the outside of the line to get a shotgun down the front straightaway. And it's going to work for him this time. Everything right here up at the front of the pack kind of settled in. Heitman trying to pull in Roger Pierce. Gitter sitting back a couple seconds back from these guys in 4th. Then right behind him is going to be Justin Levine, the Mac Tools machine, with Evan Say on his bumper.
Good run here for everyone at the moment. Just trying to log some laps here, get some time, take care of their equipment. And as we watch them work their way through, Evan C. trying to work his way up to the back bumper of Justin Levine for the top 5. But Conklin picked up where he last left off, a second lead over Pearson Heitman.
Yeah, and can't say enough about Conklin's performances this week either. I mean, we know that anytime you come to the track, the odds are Sean Conklin's going to dog walk the field. But his performance last night, the NIS, man, that was something that on an oval I haven't really seen out of him yet this season. Early in the race, got in a real bad accident, came into turn 3, car bounced off the track the wrong way, round it went. We saw that out of a handful of guys last night. The track conditions were just really treacherous for NIS, and Conklin was able to just drive himself through the field after getting all the damage fixed and walk off with the win in the late stages. And it looks like he's trying to repeat that today with a little less of a spin and win mentality as he clips the wall a little bit out of turn 4. But, I mean, heck, everybody's been doing that since we dropped the green flag. As we sit just shy of 70 laps on the board, we'll go take a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back to bring you more of the racing action here on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series on Grid Vision. A little bit of a caution coming out here on the track. A bit of an issue for Tommy Gossett. That caution came out at the opportune time for Sean Conklin because it looked like he was starting to struggle with the 10 machine up there at the front of the pack. Also a little bit of time to Roger Pierce and got a little bit of damage to the right side as well.
With that, we'll take a look at the replay, possibly what happened to Tommy Gossett, who looped it around off turn 2 once again. And it's pretty much almost a little bit identical right here, except Adam Benefield almost makes contact, but just right there.
I think it was a little more than an almost there, actually. It looked like there was a little bit of help there for Tommy.
Just a little bit.
No, doubt it was intentional, but
no, it wasn't. They were even saying it.
Seems slow out the track just a little bit. Adam tries to take the opportunity to get by him, gets into the left rear tire a little bit, and that's just enough to send Tommy around. This has been a rough day so far for Tommy. 77 laps on the board, and he's been in just about everything.
With that, everybody's coming down pit road once again. After that, about 30, 40 lap run.
See Tommy diving in pit road here to get some repairs done, get some fresh tires on that machine as well. Sean Conklin retaining the lead here off the pit road over Derek Heitman and Patrick Gitter. Now your top 3. Roger Pierce loses a couple spots on pit road. And Joseph Kazi all the way up to 5th now. What have you thought of the racing action so far here, Taylor?
So far, so good. Everything's been, other than this couple of small issues that we see off turn 2, which has been the problem spot, as well as a little off turn 4, it's been some really good racing amongst the field with a lot of drivers, though, just taking care of their equipment here and there to make sure that they try to make it to the end. Try is the key word.
Yeah, try. And we haven't had that ultra long green flag run yet either. Like we've gotten close to it, but we haven't had, a lot of times you come here to Dover, you get about 105 lap green flag runs or something once everybody separates and gets comfortable with the equipment. So, wondering if we're ever going to flip into that here.
One way to find out. Lights are out on the pace car here, and it's time to re-rack them and restack them and go at it once again.
These guys work themselves down the back straightaway here. Sean Conklin in charge of the field still, as we've seen since the drop of the green flag. Derek Heitman up there on the outside road now, getting another chance at it. My biggest concern with these restarts every time is the wheel spin.
Field now works. Go ahead.
The green flag is out. Sean Conklin to the gas. It's a good advantage over his teammate there in the 76 machine. Derek Heitman going to pull up in line in front of him here. Roger Pierce going to try and fire it around the outside line past Patrick Gitter. Gitter going to try and fight back down low, though, side by side on the back straightaway. Gitter sends it in deep into turn 3, and no, almost 3 wide. Heitman goes a little bit offline there, makes a little bit of contact with Pierce. It's going to slow down Pierce. But now Gitter stuck on the bottom. As you see Pierce send it all the way up against the fence through 1 and 2.
Oh, there he hits the outside wall again, but he's able to save it. Gathers it back up, but Gitter's going to try to follow out. Here comes Roger Pierce on the outside. 3 wide almost as they come off of turn number 4, and Heitman almost taps the wall again, and Gitter's going on the attack with those fresh tires.
Gitter absolutely sending it here. Now back to the bottom of the track again into 1 and 2. Pierce going to concede, falling line behind Heitman. Heitman going to get a good run out of turn 2 and send it deep into turn 3, but Gitter still to the inside, and Gitter to the throttle way quicker than Heitman there. Almost could have been calamity. And now Pierce with the crossover going to dive down to the inside. Now Pierce is on the bottom of 3 wide.
Here comes Roger Pierce as they work their way through. Down to the bottom, Gitter almost makes a contact between the two of them as they work their way around the circuit. Now Roger Pierce goes to the outside lane, side by side as they almost do so, but now Roger Pierce has to drop back in line. Meanwhile, a little bit behind, Evan C. and Austin Edstrom jockeying for the 6th spot.
The Rocket Man sending it down to the bottom of the track here, trying to get past the 333 machine of Evan Say. Evan Say using the outside line's momentum, though, to carry him down the back straight with one heck of a run. He's going to take the spot back. Derek Heitman is settled in now for 2nd place as Patrick Gitter still all over the back bumper, but not able to put together the move that he needs to get to the inside. And now Roger Pierce all over the rear bumper of the 21 machine.
Right on board, Roger Pierce gives a little bit of a bumper right there as he tries to see if he can push him out of the way and maybe go to the inside. Not going to work. Gitter keeps it nice and clean right there as they come through the corner. And as they come on, he's back on that back bumper, tapping it away to see if he can make his way through.
A huge shove there and up to the outside. Here comes Roger Pierce in the Caterpillar Camry. And oh, Pierce with a huge slam against the wall out of turn 2. But doesn't slow him down any. Going to keep his foot in it. And still stay on the outside of the 21 machine of Gitter. And I think he's going to clear him off of turn 4. Yes, he does. Roger Pierce back up to P3.
Roger Pierce trying to work his way through, but here comes Joseph Kazi with a head of steam. He'll get hold off Evan C. and still maintain that 5th position as they come around the circuit here. And watch on as he tries to set himself up for a pass to get around Patrick Gitter, and Pierce all over the back bumper of Derek Heitman.
And here comes Joseph Kazi trying to get to the right rear quarter of the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Not able to get it done through 1 and 2. Going to try and look down to the bottom maybe. Not enough momentum in it right now, though, to get it done. We'll try the outside again here through 3 and 4. And what Kazi is doing right now is he's trying every opportunity he can to keep clean air to the nose of the DeWalt Power Tools Camry. Because once you get lined up behind somebody, you just start burning that right front off if you start trying to push to make moves. And here comes Kazi again with a huge run around the outside, but not able to cross it down on the back straightaway.
Here they come through as they work their way around the circuit, and watching on Kazi trying to get the momentum to get around Patrick Gitter. Can't quite do it. He'll look to the inside, though. He's got to run. He'll send it down to the bottom.
Kazi to the bottom of the track here in 1 and 2. Patrick Gitter with the momentum on the outside line, though. They're going to be dead even coming out of turn 2. And Patrick Gitter's going to pull the advantage down the back straightaway into 3. And here comes Evan Say now to the outside of Joseph Kazi. Yeah, I think Evan Say might get him into 1 here. Kazi fighting back strong though on the bottom. Gets the throttle a little quick though. Pushes up the nose. He's going to have to back out of it if he wants to make it out of turn 2. And that's going to give the advantage to Evan Say here. Evan Say is going to move up to the 4th spot. Sorry, the 5th spot.
Evan Say really on a tear right now and has him making some good moves here in order to try to see if he can get himself going around the circuit here and see if he can pick up a couple of more spots for the Chesney, South Carolina native.
You know, for a man that hates everything, it looks like he loves Dover. if you don't want everybody to think that you're a hater, be sure to fill out the driver form for Grid Vision, and we can put all your favorites on the screen when we pull up your driver card.
Evansy trying to get around Gitter here pretty soon as he works his way around and tries to see if he can get a momentum on his side to get around the position. Not going to do so as Justin Levine and Austin Edstrom do battle.
Look at that. See Austin Edstrom's favorite driver?
I think so.
Oh, I might have to sign an autograph for that boy here.
You're going to have to.
He's going to have to pick it up, though, because Justin Levine is all over his back bumper coming into turn 3. The diehard Ryan Blaney fan himself. Oh, up into the fence a little bit. Patrick Gitter tags the wall in front of Evan Say. Evan Say going to look to the outside here into 3 and 4. I think Evan's been doing the best job out of anybody working that top line. I haven't seen him go to the bottom and make a pass this entire race. He just runs the outside lane, carries the momentum through the corner, and just blows the doors off everybody. I haven't seen anybody as committed to that outside line all week as I have out of the 333.
I haven't either. He has had some incredible speed all day long and working his way through, really taking care of his equipment quite well as he tries to keep the pace. But here comes Austin Edstrom trying to get around for position here, as Joseph Kazi tries to find the opening.
Kazi trying to find the run off the corner, but not able to find it here. Patrick Gitter pretty well locked into that 5th place at the moment. I'll say one thing. It seems like those Fortis cars every week are just getting a little bit better week in and week out. Starting to catch up to that benchmark there at the front of the pack. See a little bit of a tag to the wall out of turn 4. And everybody running every lane possible right off the rear bumper of the 21 Machina Gitter.
And here comes Levine down to the bottom. He's going to try to set up a pass around Edstrom, but Edstrom still got that outside lane going for him quite well, as they almost make contact.
Down to turn 1. Levine going to stay on the bottom here, still trying to commit to getting past the 87 machine of Edstrom. Not going to be able to get anything done. No, Edstrom using that top line momentum to carry him down the back straightaway just a little bit quicker. I'll tell you what, these 3 right here, you know, they may be friends, they may be teammates, but they are, when it comes to racing each other, they can be some of the most aggressive people in the field. And you see Edstrom getting a little bit tight here through 1 and 2, almost gets into the door of Kazi.
Well, they are.
But gets a good run out of turn 2, down into 3. Is the Rocky Man going to be able to complete the pass here? Kazi's just going to dip down, a little bit of contact. Edstrom almost goes around out of turn 4, loses a spot to Levine in the process.
Edstrom doing everything now to fight on and keep that position, but Levine will complete the pass and hold on to the position.
Kazi opting to be a rolling barricade right now for the rest of his buddies. But this is what Patrick Gitter wants to see. These guys back there, you know, racing as hard as they possibly can, just gives him more opportunity to pull away and maybe close that gap to Roger Pierce and Evan Say a little bit.
Keeping an eye here on these drivers a little around the field. Roger Pierce, Evan C. is closing in on Roger Pierce for position. He is running a 10th faster than Roger Pierce. Looks like Pierce is starting to fade off a little bit with the tire situation for him, so he's got to be careful.
Sean Conklin still slowly creeping that lead of his out. 10th of a second faster consistently each lap over Derek Heitman. And 2/10 quicker that last lap over Roger Pierce in third. A little bit further in the pack right now. Eyes on the 17 machine. Paul Gallimore as he's trying to bring a battle to the 74 of Chris Davis. And Matt DeCiani just lurking there right behind him in 22nd.
DeCiani is just trying to see what he can do as he's trying to get a good run off turn number 2 right now. Trying to get around Paul Gallimore for position and gets a good run. And it looks like Gallimore's going to give way for DeCiani to take the spot. And he will now go further back behind as Greg Carr moves up a spot.
DeCiani tagged the apron a little bit there in 3 and 4. Most weeks, that'd be a massive problem, but here Dover just kind of makes the car a little bit tighter when you do it. DeCiani just kind of slowly trudging his way through the field here.
Yeah, I was surprised he started that far back, and unfortunately, really hasn't made a whole lot of gains like we expect him to do. But with just about 160 laps to go, or a little under 160 laps to go, a lot can still happen.
If I know anything about DeCiani, I think there's probably a method to the madness on the slow creep through the field. I think he's probably just trying to outsave everybody right now. Not so much, not on fuel, but on tires alone. And that right there, that could be a huge benefit here at Dover.
It really can be. So we'll see how it all plays out for him as we ride on board with Matt DeCiani. Currently sits P21, trying to break into the top 20 at least.
Edstrom and Causey going at it again here down the back straightaway. Edstrom using that wide line right now, trying to get the momentum, the drive up off of the corner to try and set up a pass on Causey. You see Levine tag the wall just a little bit behind these guys. This is the most frustrating place to be in, racing against a friend, racing against a teammate. And all you want them to do is just cut you just a little bit of a break.
Just a little bit. That's all we ask. Not a whole lot.
And,
just make sure we can get a little bit of breathing room.
Well, Causey is the last person in the world to cut anybody a break.
Absolutely. And we'll see how it all plays out for Causey as he's now starting to break away a little bit from Edstrom. Edstrom, I think, is just going to try to calm down a little bit, get himself reset, and make another go at it.
A good run out of 4 for Edstrom here.
Yeah, real good run. He's going to try to make his move on the outside this time.
I think he knows there's no way he's getting by him on the bottom. Causey has made that obvious.
Absolutely, and he's going to try to do everything in his power to do so as they work their way around.
See him swing up, then he goes for that late apex, which allows for him to get to the throttle. The entire time he's coming down the hill, he's just building momentum with the foot to the floor. So he can give a little bump down into turn 1 to try and move Causey off the line there. Just letting him know, hey, man, I'm here. You better get out of the damn way.
Absolutely.
As he sends it up against the fence again here through 3 and 4. And eventually, if he doesn't overheat the tires, this right here, this will prevail. And we might see it here as he dives down to the inside in 1 and 2. Causey goes up the hill, though, takes the momentum. Austin setting himself up for failure there.
He's got to be careful with how much he's going to try to run that outside lane because that could really wear out the tires, and he's going to go all the way to the very top. Kind of almost a reverse diamond by the looks of it because he started on the bottom, worked his way all the way up to the top, and then dove it back down off corner exit.
There we go. He's trying the top line this time. But he's not able to make it stick there. Loses a little bit of momentum. Oh, and hard into the wall coming out of turn 2 for Edstrom.
That's going to be significant issues to the handling of that 87 machine.
He just hopped. He hit the wall so hard the car lifted for a second. He's going to try it again here through 1 and 2.
Looks like Giussiani picked up another spot by the looks of it. Up into the top 20 he goes.
Yeah, he'll be finding his way up here into the top 10. This thing plays out. I feel the way that he's been backing up his pace, I feel like Giussiani's really going to fly at the end of this run. And it's a consistent thing with him too, right? Like week in and week out, we don't talk about Giussiani. We don't think about him. You know, he's not in the mix. Then you get down to those closing 40 laps, and I mean, where did he come from?
Consider him the closer of the OB series.
Was that Darby? Did you say something about some fries?
That's what I was getting ready to say. Someone's hungry. Tommy Gosson now moved up to P12 after getting around Wortman Jr. for 12th position.
Yeah, Tommy piecing together a pretty solid recovery drive, but I mean, he did basically get himself a backup car on pit road, so another chance to make another stab at it here.
Yep, gonna see what he can do as he works his way up through the field as we keep an eye still on the battle between Joseph Kazi and Austin Edstrom, and there you see Levine.
Yeah, Levine kind of struggling a little bit this run. Sitting in the top 5 earlier, and I don't know what happened on pit road, but possibly a speeding or something, you know, had to crawl his way back up through some traffic. It just seems like getting through those cars, he's kind of burned off the equipment a little bit and just kind of stalled out where he's at now in 8th position.
Yeah, it seems like to be the case here. He could be trying to save his tires a little bit, see if he can maybe make a run later in the race here, but so far not going to happen for him as Gossett moves up a spot. He is almost in the top 10. He's currently P11.
And the guy that's followed him through the fray, Adam Benefield, going to take over spot now, move himself up into 11th. Or sorry, into 12th, right behind Tommy. These two have basically been glued together since the last restart. Just a couple tenths of a second separating them since we dropped the green flag.
Field now works their way through, and this is one of the closer battles we have on the track here between these drivers from 3rd all the way to 8th. As here comes Kazi trying to get around Gitter. Can't quite do it. Not close enough for him.
And Dirty Air is playing a little bit of an advantage for Edstrom. He's now got himself up to the back bumper of Kazi again here. Because once you get in, you know, within about 5 tenths of the guy in front of you, it really starts to carry the nose of the car through the corner.
It really does. It's so critical as
Edstrom on the bumper into 1.
That's going to send him up the track quite a bit. Almost makes contact with the outside wall, but saves it as Gitter a paper width away from hitting that outside wall.
Yep. If I know Austin right about now, he may be acting like he's cool, but behind the helmet, that is one ticked off driver there in that 87 machine.
I have to agree with you on that.
I can see he's flipped the switch.
He is wanting to get around for position, but so far cannot make it work for him.
Well, if he could throw a Stanley screwdriver through the windshield of the 88 machine right now, he absolutely would.
What's scary is he actually would if he did have a Stanley screwdriver in his car right now.
If it didn't break the mirror on the, I mean not the mirror, but the monitor on the way forward, he'd absolutely do it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it is Edstrom. He would probably just throw a screwdriver at his monitor. It seems like something he'd do. That's on brand.
Yep. Here comes Evan C. though. He's got a good run on Roger Pierce.
Yeah, Evan's been doing a good job taking care of his stuff. Made all those moves on the top line earlier, and he's been just kind of cooling those tires off throughout the run ever since. And it's paying off for him as he's starting to hound for third, but here comes Patrick Gitter with a dive down to the bottom, trying to take over the 4th spot.
Yeah, looks like C got a little bit too loose right there, which opened the door for Gitter to try to set up himself up for a run. And he's going to send it down to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side for position.
Oh,
Gitter gets loose.
Oh, I was about to say he was around. It was an impressive save out of the 21 machine.
Yeah, he saved it and did a great job of doing so, but he's going to try to get back on the attack here. And here, a couple of drivers now coming down pit road here, and this time by.
Yep, Roger Pierce pitting right in front of this pack of cars we're watching right now.
Now, how quickly can you get onto pit road, off of pit road, and not get a speeding penalty?
Probably. It's second to Darlington, but one of the scariest pit roads on the circuit.
I have to agree. I would rather pit at Darlington than I would here.
And it's been made worse, too, with the Gen 7 car, because there's a bump coming into pit road.
Yep.
That just wants to snap the car around. And then when you go to exit pit road, guess what there is?
Another bump.
Another bump. It wants to snap you around. And I have yet to find a way to get through there without just losing a whole bunch of time, without, putting myself upside down against the catch fence coming out turn 2. Working on it. Also, somebody that's working today, that 8 machine Isaac sitting in the 8th spot. This is definitely a good run for the 1 machine as we still watch these guys battling. Now Justin Levine to the inside of Edstrom, going to make the pass out of turn 2. Levine moving back up to 6th. I guess you're right. I guess he was saving tire.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to make his run up through the field here and makes his way up as they do so. It's going to be exciting to see how this works out for him because he is picking them up and putting them down.
See the Mac Tools Camry working the outside line here, trying to get the run down the back straightaway to get him to the back bumper of Patrick Gitter to take over the 4th place spot. Sorry, the 5th place spot. That's Kazi that's moved his way up into 4th.
Oh, another slide right there for Patrick Gitter.
And Evan Sade tags the fence in front of him, too. And here comes Levine around the outside through 1 and 2. And he might lose 2 spots. No, he doesn't. Edstrom gets a little bit tight. Tags the wall in the center of 1 and 2. But Justin Levine going to take over the 5th spot from Patrick Gitter here. And now we got a battle for 4th between Evan Say and Joseph Kazi. And as quick as it started, Kazi's taking it.
And Levine now having to hold off Patrick Gitter, who goes back on the attack. But Levine powers his way through on the outside. As here comes Nicholas Isaac.
And what a strong run from Nicholas Isaacs this race, too. Like I said, haven't mentioned his name at any point. Must be a new pick to the series or somehow just missed, I missed them at some point here. But definitely a great strong run.
Either way, quiet night for him, putting up some good results, good running, and so far doing what he needs to do.
And in a field like this, to be able to just drop in, first week and run this well with this kind of an SOF, that is a massive confidence boost for a driver. Oh, Evan Say's really struggling with that car right now. Look who's back up here into the picture, sitting in 8th spot right now, Tommy Gossett.
Back again?
Oh yeah. He's out right now to prove everybody wrong. Made a couple mistakes earlier in this thing, and a little bit of contact between him and Benefield too. Benefield also, by the way, took 100% blame for that, which is very sportsman. I mean, that's what you expect with Adam Benefield too. He's been on here probably longer than you and I have, Taylor.
I have to agree. And penalty given out to Chad Kibbe in the 45. He will have to come down pit road to serve a penalty, which he is doing now.
And that right there is something you do not want to do here at Dover. I mean, you don't want to do it anywhere, but especially at Dover, because how slow pit road is, how much time you lose. Pretty much count yourself out after that.
Sean Conklin has now started to make his way to the tail end of lap traffic.
Yep. And Roger Pierce, saw him. He was the first one to come down pit road. And he's currently working on building an advantage to Conklin. once things cycle out for a while based on where Heitman or Roger is on track, that's going to put him in the lead. That was a substantial undercut on the field there.
Yes, it is. Paul Gallimore is also the next car to come down pit road, has been announcing he's coming down pit road. So we'll see how that plays out. There he is, and Roger Pierce just going to try to see what he can do to pick up some spots. He is currently just 1 lap down in 24th, but the last car 1 lap down.
Yeah, and the rest of these guys right now, they're just staying out in hopes that we might see a caution. Because, you know, we had a handful of them to start this thing out. You never want to come to pit road too early and get yourself trapped a couple laps down.
Yeah, if you're 2 laps down, you're in trouble. Thankfully for Roger, he is at least 1 lap down, so he could make it work for him when the pit stop cycle starts to happen more, especially for the front runners.
And absolutely, and I like the call too. You know, he was back there in a situation where, you know, he knew he probably wasn't going to win. So why do exactly what the leader does? Why tail the leader? Go throw a Hail Mary, try to make something work.
Absolutely.
It's the FC bringing the 333 machine down pit road here.
Now the question is a wait and see of who else will make their way down onto pit road here in the closing stages of this fuel run. Currently, drivers have been out there for almost 70 laps.
And this right here, this is the point where you need to start watching for tires too. You know, some of these guys might, you know, just be on the edge of courting their right front. As you see Patrick Gitter tag the fence in front of Justin Levine here in 4th.
87 is now pitting. That is, of course, the driver of Austin Edstrom coming down pit road.
He's probably liking this call for him. So, oh, keep it down.
Yeah, keep it down there on the bottom of the racetrack.
Come on, Austin. We're all watching you. We know you're listening to us. Don't lock it. There you go. Pulls the Kazi special, locks up both front tires. He's gotten in, though. No speeding for the 87 machine.
That's a good thing.
That sets it up so that he doesn't have to worry about racing Kazi for, you know, 30 or 40 laps to try and find a way past him. He's just got the, if it times out right, he's going to have the track position.
Chris Vinson, the next car to come down pit road. Now the question is going to be, what will the rest of those inside the top 5 decide to do? Where,
ooh, Heitman's loose.
Yeah, big time loose right there, as we're 110 laps away from the end of the race.
And Heitman realizes, yep, maybe now's a good time to pit. He sends it down pit road here. That was aggressive.
Very.
Looked like it worked for him.
It really did. I'm surprised that he was able to hold on.
And Conklin opting to stay out here. Now I guess side-by-side battle for second. Joseph Kazi on the outside, Patrick Gitter to the bottom. You know, every time I think Gitter's car is, you know, falling off, he goes out there and tries to make another pass that I didn't see coming. See Evan Say working his way past these guys, trying to get his laps back after pitting. Here comes Gitter again to the bottom here in 3 and 4, but it's not going to be enough. Joseph Kazi going to hold momentum on the outside line and hold on to second place for another lap. Gitter's going to keep on trying down here on the low line, and I think this time he's going to have a pretty good run. Nope. Does not. Bobbles a little bit coming out of turn 2, falls back in the line behind the 88 machine.
Gonna have to try again here as they come through off of turn number 4. And Patrick Gitter not able to do anything right there at the moment.
No, we know how difficult cause he is to pass, too. We've seen that multiple times today. And Justin Levine sneaking his way back up into fourth. Here comes Tommy Gossett, though, with a huge run around the outside. And him and Benefield have been going at it for a handful of laps now, as Tim Wortman Jr. brings the 28 machine down pit road. And Patrick Gitter going to get the pass complete. He's going to get by Joseph Causey here.
Oh,
and
Levine!
Justin Levine's going to loop it. Save it.
He does. Save of the night. And we're going to stay green. Did he blow a tire is my question. Yep,
Blew a tire.
he just he did. And apparently another driver just blew a tire too.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have stayed out really long on this run. It's right on board here.
Yeah, right there.
And when you blow a right rear in the middle of 1 and 2 at Dover, there's not much you can do to keep the thing pointing in the right direction.
Just try to hold the brakes as quickly as you can and get down, and hopefully nobody makes contact with you.
I got to give huge props to Justin, though. Most people would have looped the car back onto the track there to try and bring out a yellow. And Justin just, you know, took the beating and kept his foot in it. Did you see Sean Conklin diving down pit road now? After seeing a couple guys blow tires, he thinks it's probably a good time to bring it in for 4.
Absolutely. I think it's a good time here as John Bender receives a penalty.
John Bender's difficult night just gets a little bit worse there. This is the field now in the hands of Patrick Gitter. Adam. Also, Gitter. I'm wondering if Conklin maybe had a tire failure as well.
Caution.
And we have a caution. And that is the last thing. That's going to change everything. Joseph Causey around on the front straightaway. And
the
Christian
3
goes around too. Wondering if that was another flat.
Possibility. Causey has yet to pit, and
Oh, Benefield.
Benefield.
That wasn't
Still
the cause of
tough break.
caution. But that is a rough break for Adam Benefield. See,
Watch Causey right
I
here.
think Causey was losing a tire right there.
Yep.
Yep. There's definitely a right rear flat. Because we haven't seen the 88 machine really get loose this entire race.
Now, he was smooth and consistent all day long, but unfortunately... Oh,
and the 54 Randy Mullins, nowhere to go.
tough break for Randy Mullins and Causey. That's going to put Causey out of contention for
And
sure.
I'm pretty sure Luke Christian knocked down the wall there. Trying on board with Mullins here. That turn, he can't even see. Yeah, Mullins can't even see Causey until he's there. The race off pit road here is going to be the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Tommy Gossett works his way up into second with the gutsy call to stay out there. Auckland currently stuck in 18th place, back on the lead lap.
Johnson also receives a penalty.
Auckland's actually getting the wave around here. Looks of it, right? Yeah. What there's with 100 laps to go, that's completely flips the race on its head.
It certainly does. Curious to see how this all plays out here.
And yeah, we see the wave around cars get tagged past the pace car here. Real unfortunate break for Austin Edstrom. Trap 19th, now a lap down. But if we get another quick yellow here, bring a lot of these guys back into it. Or a couple of them.
Do have our first retirement of the night for the driver of Adam Benefield out of the race.
Yeah, it's so devastating for Adam. Had the incident at the start of this race, did an incredible job carving his way through traffic. Then just Dover pit road being treacherous is what takes him out.
Tough break indeed.
Pace car dives in. These guys working themselves back into the OB Builders restart zone here. Patrick Gitter and Tommy Gossett going to lead us back to the green and through the gears here. Patrick Gitter going to take the advantage at the start-finish line. Pretty clean and green here through the first turn. Sounds like the 4 machine of Brian Johnson has a penalty right now.
Yep, he is pitting now.
Works their way around here to complete the first lap of green flag racing. Pretty clean here. Tommy Gossett now trying to hound the back bumper of the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Tommy's fought through all kinds of adversity from the start of this race. And here we are with just under 100 laps to go, and he has an opportunity at taking home the checkers if he could just keep it in the right direction here and find his way past Patrick Gitter. But that's not going to be an easy task at all because we've seen how fast that 21 machine has been all night.
Absolutely. He's going to try everything he can as here comes Tommy Gossett with a head of steam now working his way through.
Right now, this is the point where you got to lock in,
Oh, trouble for Justin Levine again as he saves it again.
Justin's night's getting rougher as the laps continue. But up to the back bumper now into 3. Here comes Tommy Gossett. Real close to the back of that 21 Fortis machine. He's going to dive down to the bottom here on the front straightaway, get to the quarter panel. And they're going to be side by side down to 1 and 2. Which one's going to come out on top? Tommy to the gas quick, but Gitter going to try and hang on that outside line. Gets the momentum. It keeps him alive for now into turn 3. But here comes Tommy with another charge to the bottom. And Patrick Gitter with the advantage coming out of turn 4 with the momentum. He's going to hold on to the lead here for lap 167. Now back into 1 with Tommy to the inside.
Field now works their way through side by side, and as they do so, almost makes contact right there with both the outside wall or Tommy Gossett as they try to negotiate themselves around. Gossett on the bottom, Gitter as Gossett loses a little bit of ground, and Gitter will get the spot for the moment.
Gossett was just on the edge of being loose there into 3 and 4. Had to back out of the throttle a little bit to keep the car pointing in the right direction. Going to fall back in line behind Gitter for now. And these two guys, they're not going to give up. As you see Tommy now look to the outside a little bit, trying to get clean air to the nose of the 07 Budweiser Camry. Trying to find any kind of run he can. Gets a good run out of turn 4. Now back to the bottom of the track here into 1. Is it going to be enough for the contact? Oh, Patrick Gitter gets knocked up the hill by Tommy Gossett. Gossett now takes over the lead in 1 and 2.
Gossett's going to try to hold on, and he will now start to run away now from the driver of Patrick Gitter as we take a look at the replay.
This is what happened. This was the move for the lead here. Tommy sends it in deep, tries to go for a slider. Wasn't quite clear, just barely tags the nose of the 21 machine. That's enough to send Patrick Gitter up the hill and give Tommy a really sizable advantage here. 0.6 of a second now separating your leaders. Also, look who's sitting in 3rd place right now with all the mismatch with the strategy and the incident. Chris Hudson in the 43 machine.
Mr.
Now, he was on a tear the last handful of weeks with the road courses. And, hasn't always had the best of luck here on the mile tracks and the mile and a halves, just the typical circles. And putting together pretty good numbers here today at Dover. And if things play out the way they've been playing out right now, a well-deserved good finish, but he's got to fight off Randy Belk and Roger Pierce. Belk's going to take over the spot here. Hudson up to the top of the track here. Here comes Pierce down to the bottom through 1 and 2. Almost a hip check out of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, Roger Pierce going to take away the spot with ease, though. Hudson not going to try and oversend it here. Knows that 27 machine is fast.
And here comes Sean Conklin. He is now trying to work his way through the field. Currently about to break into the top 10 as he currently sits P11.
Tell you what, Conklin is probably pretty tired of having to carve his way through traffic this week.
You would almost think he's done it enough already.
See, the next car he's got to pass here is going to be the next car for position. I do believe is going to be the 10 machine of Heitman.
Yep, 76 machine of Heitman for 10th. Yes.
Sorry, 76 machine, yeah. See Tim Wortman Jr. in between the two of them, but Tim Wortman, trapped a lap down after the incidents earlier during the pit cycle. 22 machine all over the back bumper of Patrick Gitter here for second.
They're going to try to do everything he can here as he works his way around the circuit. And now Randy Belk now getting onto the back bumper of Patrick Gitter, who is having a good second half for his running.
Yeah, Randy Belk, race kind of fell into his lap there with the way the caution came out and the strategy. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than anything. This is a good opportunity for this talent to shine here at Dover. As he is all over the bumper of Gitter, gets a little bit of a push to the 21 machine, pushes him up the hill. Gitter going to hang on strong, though, on the outside line. Now through 1 and 2, he's got to do it again.
Do have a couple of other retirements to talk about. Brian Johnson out along with Chris Crosby and Randy Mullins. So we're now down to a total of 25 cars out on the track.
Randy Belk goes up to the top here in 1 and 2. Going to try and get that slingshot down the back straightaway. Doesn't quite key it up the way he should, but still gets an impressive run nonetheless. Now dives it down to the inside in 3 and 4, and the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter knows when he's been had, throws up the towel, lets these two machines go by. Roger Pierce also moving up into the top 5 here. We're up into 3rd here. Now Patrick Gitter going to go back down to the bottom of the track here, try to make some kind of work at the 27 machine of Pierce. Falls back in line down the back straightaway, but Randy Belk and Roger Pierce moving up into the podium here.
Chris Hudson trying to hold on to a top 5 run, but he's got to worry about Matt DiCiani, who's right there behind. And how about Josh Schaffner? He's been outside the top 10 for a majority of the race. With under 100 laps to go, he has found his way comfortably in the 8th spot with Derek Heitman on his back bumper.
Oh, now Derek Heitman diving down to the bottom into 3. Schaffner going to crack out of it, let the 76 machine go. That's one thing that I'm really liking that I'm seeing out of these guys here. Week in and week out, we see everybody just, drive the hell out of each other. But here in the OB Builders Cup, there's a lot of give and take left in this field. As
Absolutely.
we see Patrick Gitter losing a spot now to the 43 machine of Chris Hudson. Chris Hudson moving up into 4th.
Mr. Consistency himself.
Good run continuing. And there's Edstrom. Not on the lap that he needs to be on, but showing the pace that he has in the Stanley Tools machine nonetheless.
Good news is he is the first car 1 lap down, and if he can keep it clean, he might have that shot to get back on the lead lap if we get another caution.
You better be hoping for it soon, because once we get to the point, where the laps start to wind down, back on that lead lap doesn't really help you so much.
No, it does not.
With 183 laps on the board and in control right now, Tommy Gossett in the 07 Budweiser machine. We're going to go take another quick word from our sponsors, then we'll be back to bring you the rest of the racing action here for the OB Builders Cup Series live on the grid.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
$190 laps down. Welcome back to the OB Builders Cup Series here on Grid Vision. Tommy Gossett still in control of the field right now with Randy Belk 3 seconds back in second place. And this is the drive that Tommy's wanted to have all season. And so far, everything looking pretty good for that 07 machine up here at the front.
Absolutely. Really good run for him right now as Randy Belk's trying to keep pace with him. But for Tommy Gossett, he has had one of the biggest leads we've seen all night long at over 3.5 seconds.
He got, a good launch on the restart. Then had the luck of having the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter racing, holding them back a little bit there while they were battling for second. Then, no disrespect to anybody, but, Tommy Gossett's one of those guys that I just see, every week he gets a little bit better. And, at some point, I feel like Tommy's going to be, one of those elite talents here in iRacing. And this week, it's kind of proved me right.
Yeah, really good. Real good run for him. Quiet day, even though with a little bit of issues he's dealt with, he has found his way to pull off some strategy to get up towards the front of the field here. Randy Belk's trying to hold off the hard charger of Roger Pierce and Derek Heitman in there, with Gitter holding on to fifth. So pretty much it's a battle from third on back, or second on back.
Austin Edstrom hanging out in what would be the fourth position right now.
But the first car 1 lap down, so if he is able to play his cards right, he could get back on the lead lap here.
Yeah, I know every lap that he goes into one of these corners, the first thing that he said, he's probably saying under his breath, is somebody wrecked. Oh, Roger Pierce, heavy contact out of turn 4 with the outside wall.
Edstrom was almost happened. Randy Belk having a great run here tonight. We'll see if that continues on with his run there as Roger Pierce. There's a battle for Chris Hudson and Sean Conklin for 6th place.
Yeah, and I think, with the amount of give and take we've seen out of the 43 machine of Hudson, I feel like he's probably not going to make it too difficult for Conklin here as Conklin tags the wall a little bit out of turn 2. Once he shows the nose, though, I think Hudson's going to crack out of it because he knows how fast that 10 machine is behind him.
He certainly does, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure it works out for him. He'll look to the inside, side-by-side battle, and there goes Sean Conklin.
Conklin moving up to the 6th position now. 7 seconds, though, separating him and Tommy Gossett. And he is closing that advantage ever so slightly. A 10th here, a 10th there. He's still got some pretty stout competition to carve through. Roger Pierce, Derek Heitman, they're not going to be easy ones to pass. Neither is Patrick Gitter. Although Patrick has been pretty conservative this run, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did, just roll over. Look at the 21 machine, as you mentioned earlier, probably one of the better looking paint schemes in the field. Man, I just have to agree with you on that. I've got a soft spot in my heart for early 2000s RCR paint schemes.
60
Roger Pierce.
Yeah.
27 machine.
Well, he was the first one to come down pit road out of that group.
And Sean Conklin comes down too.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Wondering if Conklin was able to make it down to pit speed in time, though. He gained a lot of ground on pit road to the 27 machine.
I'm pretty sure Tommy just found out when he came across the start-finish line.
It'll be interesting to see what the 07 machine does here. Because if he lets them keep that undercut, he's going to lose a whole bunch of time on the back end of this run. And when it comes to Roger Pierce and Sean Conklin, those are two guys that you don't want to have an advantage of any sort.
Absolutely.
So if I'm Tommy, I'm thinking about pitting here in the next lap.
If not sooner.
Right on board with the Budweiser Camry through 3 and 4. See if he's trying to come in this time. Nope, staying out. Well, he might be trying to push it, honestly.
Yeah, but you don't want to pull the same thing that happened to Justin Levine as he lets Roger Pierce by.
But if he's able to back it down, keep that right rear under him, he might be okay to make it. I'm not sure exactly what the fuel calculation is for him. Now Tommy Gossett, 4.5 seconds separated between him and Randy Belk. He's probably hoping to get another caution here where these guys are behind him. So we'll get Derek Heitman right now holding on to the 3rd spot. And Austin Edstrom would be in 3rd. On a late race pace for the 87 machine, but being stuck a lap down it doesn't really give him much here.
Watching through the field to see if there's any other good battles around the track so far. No good for anyone at the moment. Still quite a bit left to go for some of these competitors as they try to get around the circuit here in under 60 laps to go as we watch Luke Christian inside the top 10.
Also, how about 8th spot? Somebody that's probably had the worst luck out of anybody all season. That 25 machine of Greg Carr. Yeah, I think week in, week out, we've seen him just get caught up in other people's messes or sometimes, have his own mistakes take him out of the race. And right now, he's got that 25 machine sitting there in the top 10, sitting now 8th spot. And just goes to show, never give up. And that's something the 25 machine, I don't think, ever does. So good run and well-deserved out of Greg Carr.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to say well-deserved. He's a Schrader fan.
Who doesn't love Kenny?
Yeah, anybody that their favorite driver is Kenny Schrader, that's good people right there.
Absolutely.
As we see Tommy Gossett opting to come down now, didn't want to stay out any longer and leave a risk on the table. Going to bring the 07 machine down pit road here. It's going to be interesting to see where he cycles through compared to his Victory One teammates that have already pit. As you see Derek Heitman now trying to dive down to the inside of Randy Belk. This is the battle currently for the lead. Heitman down to the bottom of the track here through 3 and 4. Belk going to try and hang on strong on the outside. They're going to be side by side in a drag race down into turn number 1. Here comes Derek Heitman again. And Heitman gets to the gas, and he's going to get the spot.
He is going to get the spot indeed and move on through as some issues and some upset drivers over towards Justin Levine.
Yeah, Justin came down on the nose of Tommy Gossett there when Tommy was merging back to the track. Tommy Gossett going to dive down to the inside here of the 19 machine down into 1 and 2. Throws a slider. Justin cracks off the throttle, lets him have it.
He certainly does. Now the question is going to be, how much time did Tommy Gossett lose on that run? Here comes Conklin.
Yeah, there's Conklin right there behind the 19, Levine. Justin gets a little bobble out of turn 4. Back down into 1, though. Justin not giving him the line. Conklin will give him the bumper through 1 and 2 and move him up the hill.
3 wide almost as they come off of turn 2. And Conklin and Pierce will get around him.
The back straightaway into 3. Sean Conklin going to take away the spot with ease with Roger Pierce closely in tow. But that massive advantage that Tommy Gossett had has all but dwindled here. Because these guys can now see that 07 machine from where they're sitting.
Justin was really holding them up quite a bit because they were right on the back bumper of Tommy Gossett before the pit stops there. And unfortunately, that's going to change the whole premise of the situation.
You see Tommy working his way past the guys on older tires. Currently up to 15th position. The third car 1 lap down at the moment. And right around now is the point where Edstrom is just praying that somebody bends it.
Absolutely.
He's still the first car a lap down. Most of the field is
about to be about lap down, though.
A lot of the field is a lap down. And everybody else have to take the wave around on old tires. He can come in and get the lucky dog and get 4 freshies. And then, as fast as that 87 machine is, they have a pretty good opportunity at it. And he's not too far from the leader either. So if anybody else gets put a lap down here, Austin will probably make pretty quick work of him.
Absolutely. So we'll see how it all plays out for him as Derek Heitman currently holds on to the race lead for the time being with a 2-second advantage.
Tommy with a pretty lucky break here as Conklin and Pierce having to work their way through lap traffic a little bit behind them. Chris Vincent down to the inside of Sean Conklin here, racing him for it. That's going to be more lost in time for the 10 machine of Conklin.
Randy Belt coming down pit road.
Tommy basically has a straightaway lead over the competition, so if it stays green, it's going to be pretty difficult here for the rest of these guys to get to him as long as he doesn't get held up by lap traffic.
Absolutely. So we'll see how this all plays out here in the closing stages.
Oh, correct car gets up into the fence a little bit, almost hooks Tommy, but thankfully
Not
Tommy
quite
left a little bit
enough.
of separation between him and the 25 machine there, and Carr does a good job not overcorrecting it off the fence.
Just does it enough to where he's able to hold on.
And Tommy's done such a great job, too, so far, just working his way through the lap traffic. Catching him at the right times. Big wobble out of turn 4. But working his way through them, not making too many big mistakes as we, almost saw one there. As he goes by and passes the 23 machine of John Bender, now trying to get past the 50 of Josh Schaffner as Roger Pierce crashes, and he's on pit road, and looks like he's going to be behind the wall here.
Oh, tough break for Roger Pierce, who was having such a good run and debris all over the racetrack, but he keeps it below the racing line, and that's going to allow us to keep on racing clean and green.
That was a classy move by Roger to keep it down there underneath the, down on the apron, too, to avoid having a yellow thrown. I think Roger's probably pulling for Tommy in that 07 machine right now.
I would have to say so.
And he'll probably tell us in chat, too. Oh, yep. Gets up there behind the 333 machine of Evan C. and just gets the quarter panel a little bit. Wasn't expecting the checkup from the 333 car, and just it shoots him off into the wall. As we look at Derek Heitman still staying out on the track here. Patrick Gitter also choosing to stay on the track. And, you know, some of these guys might be trying to push it.
Don't want to push it too far. I will say that much, though, because a lot of things can still go wrong. I mean, they've been out there for Heitman 76 laps, for the drivers behind 66 laps.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, you know, it's the best opportunity for a win, right? Just stay out there. You know, a couple things going to happen. Either you're going to blow a tire or somebody else is going to wreck. And you hope that, you know, if you stay out there with a whole bunch of other guys, the odds are somebody's going to pop something. And if it's not you, you come out smelling like a rose. If it is you, though, you come out smelling like something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Closing in on 30 laps to go here.
And Austin's just hoping they all blow tires. Whole field.
Austin's just hoping for chaos.
I mean, just the amount of speed he has in that 87 machine, it's a darn shame. But a lap down, though, first car lap down, sitting in 10th place. So nonetheless, a good run for him. Just a day that he's definitely going to look back at if he isn't able to get himself back on the lead lap here to finish this thing off, that he's going to look back and just know that he had so much more.
So much more indeed.
As Evan C. dives it down on the pit road here. He'll get his 4 tires and fuel to finish this thing off. Derek Heitman still staying on track. Patrick Gitter, same traffic as the 76. And Patrick Gitter has basically just been the gatekeeper for the podium all race long. As we look and see Tommy Gossett starting to slip his way into the picture, just a couple car lengths off of the 21 machine of Gitter. And Tommy with a very sizable advantage now to the other cars on his sequence. So look at the amount of marbles built up on the bottom of the track right now, Taylor.
I've been seeing that quite a bit as far as just the marbling, especially up there against the walls. That is something you do not want to be a part of when the time comes.
Well, like especially like looking when we get into 3 here. Just look at that. All the pucks of rubber down there. I can't remember any season where we've seen so much marble here. iRacing has definitely done a good job with all the updates this year, because it feels more accurate than it has in a long time. As you see, Tommy Gossett work himself past the second place car of Patrick Gitter. Now just 1 car separating him from being back on the lead lap. And it's about a 3-second advantage. And Tommy basically in a league of his own right now. All he has to do is just put this thing around here, keep it in one piece. Coughlin's way back, mired in traffic behind him. Pierce, the other car on the same sequence, no longer in contention. Sean just now coming out of turn 4. And Tommy entering 2. Be a huge win for him. See Conklin work his way back past a little bit of well, not lap traffic, but guys on the other sequence. And now Evan Say, who just came through pit road a handful of laps ago, going to go by on 4 fresh tires, which is going to make it more difficult for the 10 machine of Conklin here. Now Gossett. Edstrom finally. Well, nope, never mind. Gossett working his way past Austin Edstrom here now, because Derek Heitman still opting to stay on the track here. And We're about to be at 20 laps to go, and this is about the point where I'm expecting to start seeing catastrophic tire failures. And if this happens before Tommy's able to unlap himself from that 76 machine, that's basically going to write him out. Yeah, Edstrom finally opting to throw in the towel here. I think it's because he's out of the lucky dog spot, so he figures there's really nothing else for him to do here. Tommy's going to run a 23.9 to Derek Heitman's 24.1 that lap. Let's look at Patrick Gitter sitting in second place right now. And Matt DiCiani up to third spot. This is the first battle on the track that we have right now, too, is DiCiani starting to work himself up to the back bumper of the 21 machine. Two teammates about to be going at it toe-to-toe here. Right now, all eyes on Heitman as he comes across the line here. 19 laps to decide it all here from Dover. Are the tires going to hold? That's the biggest question. Oh, big wiggle out of Heitman. Is that the right rear? A big slide through 1 and 2. He's diving it down pit road. Pretty sure that is the right rear tire. As he gets loose coming into 3, trying to get into pit road. Pushes up the track. He's going to get it down, though. And that's going to put Tommy back on the lead lap. That keeps the green flag out as well. Patrick Gitter, now your race leader. You know what? I hate that Heitman's going to go, a couple laps down here, getting, 4 fresh tires put back on it, and the strategy didn't work. But I love the tenacity of, these guys just trying every possible route they can to bring home the checkered flag here. Patrick Gitter now in control of this thing for the time being. 85 laps on the tire, coming to 86, though. We just saw the 76 machine of Heitman have a failure on the right rear. When's it going to come for the 21 machine? 15 laps left. It's going to be close. And also, we've seen Gitter giving spots up to people all race long. You got to think that he was saving a little bit of tire there after he lost the lead to Tommy early. The one that I think might be a little bit better off on that, though, is going to be the 5 machine of DiCiani. We've seen him not go all race long. So it's just going to come down, it's going to come down to like 2-3% on these tires as to who's going to get this job done. That was a rough break for him. To watch Tommy Gossett getting passed by Austin Edstrom, who's on fresher tires right now. Definitely a race that Edstrom would like to start back over. The amount of pace he's had in that Stanley Tools Camry this evening. Patrick Gitter comes to the line to take lap 250 here. You know, when's the last time we've seen this much strategy spread across the field? Like, yeah, apparently. Because I can't recall any time that I've been in the booth where we've had this many altering strategies. And these guys just put together one heck of a race because I don't know what's going to happen. We're 10 laps to go. I have no idea if Patrick Gitter's going to win this thing or if DeCiani's going to win it or if all these guys are going to blow tires back into the fence and flip and then, you know, Tommy's in the catbird seat for it as we see the 10 machine of Sean Conklin now trying to unlap himself. Right now, Patrick Gitter's still in charge of it. Sean Conklin going to try and unlap himself here. And he's going to get himself back on the lead lap. So if a caution were to come out, it'd be a heads-up battle between him and Tommy Gossett, potentially, for the win.
As we watch on the battle for position, a little further on as we keep an eye on Gitter, 0.3 of a second ahead of Matt DeCiani, who's starting to close a little bit, not by much. It's now identical lap times between him and Matt DeCiani.
It's Rigo dominance to start this thing out, but right now it's Fortis 1-2 with Gitter and DeCiani looking to possibly steal one away here at Dover on strategy. So the question is, you know, we've seen these tire failures. I'm just nervous, man. I don't think they're going to be able to make it around here.
I think he can. I think he can pull it off. He's been smooth. He's been consistent, not making any mistakes whatsoever.
Here we are on board with Gitter right now. 5 laps to go to decide everything here from Dover. It has been a race where we've seen a little bit of everything. You know, we've seen strategy. We've seen big wrecks. We've seen long runs, short runs, I mean, you name it. It's been all across the board here. And honestly, this, I have to say, this is the best race that we've covered.
Hands
For the
down,
OB Boaters Cup.
as far as strategy, as far as the racing, it's been incredible amongst these competitors. And I got to say, for Patrick Gitter, who's looking to pick home a win, you know, I think it's pretty good for me. Looking good.
Here we are. 3 laps to go.
I think we have a new nickname
Joseph
for
Causey.
Causey.
Oh, man. Am I allowed to say it, Austin? All right, well, I'm just going to send it. Patrick Gitter right now trying to get around the DeWalt Dickhead into turn 1. The name lovingly given to him by Austin Edstrom. Patrick Gitter, 2 more laps, man.
Can he do it? He is closing in to come around to take the white flag one more time around.
This lap right here, this is the one that's going to decide it all. Cross the start-finish line, white flag. This is, next flag is going to end the race. Patrick Gitter with a sizable lead over Matt DeCiani, his teammate sitting in second. In the Cinderella story of the day, Chris Hudson in 3rd place right now, but through 3 and 4 for the final time, it's all Patrick Gitter. All he has to do is limp it around this tire for one more corner into the line. Patrick Gitter, in a shocking upset, is going to get the job done here at Dover, and strategy is going to prevail. And Team Fortis is going to go 1-2. DeCiani comes across the line second, 3rd place going to Chris Hudson. What a drive out of the 43 machine. We're about to find out exactly how much tire is left underneath that 21 machine here.
No trouble for Justin Levine right there at the end. Loops it around off into turn 3.
See these 2 teammates lined up here on the front straightaway for a photo opportunity, and Patrick Gitter going to get the job done in the cleanest paint scheme in the field.
Come on, do something.
You run out of fuel, maybe?
Did he?
Because we were close on fuel too.
He might have.
Yeah. I think it's done. As we pull up the unofficial results here, Patrick Gitter, race winner over Matt DiCiani, Chris Hudson, Lou Christian, and Josh Schaffner are your top 5. Coming home in P6 is going to be Greg Carr with Tommy Gossett in 7th, followed by Sean Conklin, Joseph Causey, and Derek Heitman running out your top 10.
In 11th position, we will see Nicholas Isaac come home with a strong finish, followed by Randy Bell 12th, Chris Vincent 13th, Justin Levine 14th, Austin Edstrom 15th, Chris David 16th, Tim Wortman Jr. 17th, Paul Gallimore is going to be in 18th, Shane Clore, and Chad Kibbe, your top 20.
And bringing it home in 21st is going to be John Bender with Evan Say bringing home 22nd. 23rd going to Roger Pierce, followed by Alexander Carr, Brian Johnson, Joshua Hyatt, Chris Crosby, Randy Mullins, Adam Benefiel, and Brandon Pasalacqua. Round your 30-car field. Whew. First off, Taylor, I feel like we need to say it. Have you ever?
No, I have never seen that clean of a race at Dover on the
Yeah,
iRacing events.
My tailbone is numb because I've been sitting on the edge of my seat for the last 45 laps because I had no idea what was going to happen.
I think everyone was like that.
But now we're getting to that point of the night, and we're going to pull up 3rd place finisher, Chris Hudson. And honestly, after the performance we've seen the past couple weeks with the road courses, I'm not surprised to be sitting here talking to you. Chris, tell me about your race, man, because that was one heck of a drive.
Oh, thanks. Oh man, I'm so pumped to finish in 3rd. This league is so insane, and these drivers are so good. But yeah, I'm so happy to be able to pull one off here and bring it on 3rd. For me, it was all about like tire management, just saving those things. And I knew we had that last caution. I saw that it was, we were right there on fuel. It was just a matter of trying to save those tires. And I just kind of tried to take my time as I could, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose too many positions. But yeah, man, just super excited to bring it home in 3rd.
Yeah, so you've been kind of bringing home some really good, consistent finishes. As long as we've really been covering, you've always fringed top 10 or, worked well into the top 10. Your performances at the road courses here especially stand out to me. Do you think this is a sign of things to come? Because, I know, everybody got kind of lucky with a weird strategy being thrown because caution's coming out at a strange time. But how do you feel about your chances going forward, especially with I think we're going to Indy next week, right?
Yeah, I think it's, I feel comfortable on the road courses. I feel like I've got speed there. That's where maybe I can really show a little bit of talent. But, on the ovals, having a good strategy can, be the difference between a top 5 and 30th. So it just kind of depends, trying to be smart and race smart. So that's kind of, I always try to kind of take it easy when the race starts and try to kind of feel everything out, and then have go at it at the end. But I don't know, man. I'm just gonna keep plugging along, trying to put in these good finishes and see what happens.
Oh man, you did a good job tonight, and I see you got a lot of love going on in the chat right now too. It's hard not to love a P51 Mustang paint on a Ford Mustang, though. Personally, I gotta say. But with this excellent 3rd place finish this evening, who do you want to thank a shout out for it?
Yeah, big shout out to our team, Goated Strat, Lou, Chad, Shane. Always blast racing with those guys every night. Shout out to this league. Again, I just can't say enough about the quality of racing in this league. All the guys are just, everybody's so fast and clean here. It's always a lot of fun to jump in and race here. And then, as always, to you guys, the broadcast, it's always fun to go back and watch it. It's always makes it that much better. So I really enjoy everything you guys do. And also shout out to, I think my mom and dad are watching, so hi to my mom and dad.
Well, Chris, thanks for coming up here and talking to us. Go have a good rest of your evening, and I'm sure every part on you is probably aching after having to muscle a car around Dover for 260 laps.
That's for sure. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
And we'll hand it on over to Taylor Burris with our 2nd place finisher this evening, the 5 machine of Matt DiCiani.
Well, here with Matt DeCiani. Matt, I got to tell you, it was a little bit concerning at that first half of the race, sitting outside the top 20. But after you crossed the halfway point, you were just making your way up through the field to where you come home second place. Walk us through the strategy call for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, didn't help that I missed the grid. I mean, normally I have the 5 minutes, so that was kind of behind the 8 ball. I didn't queue because I wanted to get some dirty air practice, just to see. But yeah, I kind of just hung out and chilled, and yeah, I mean, I knew we were gonna go full field runs if we had the opportunity to. So the race actually kind of fell right into our laps. You know, we just knew what we needed to run, 95, 100 laps, and yeah, it couldn't have worked out better.
We leave the short track here of Dover over, of course, to Indianapolis next week. You feel like with this run here tonight, that's going to help you with some momentum to possibly have a shot of going for the win.
Yeah, I mean, Indy's a pretty good track for me, but with this new Aero model, I think Indy is going to be about impossible to pass. So might focus a lot on Q next week because I think track position is going to mean everything next week.
Well, that is Matt DeCiani coming home in second place here tonight as Mr. Sheldon Atkins has caught up with our race winner. He survived it all the way to the end. Is going to be Patrick Gitter.
And the cleanest paint scheme award always typically for me goes to that 21 Heartbeat of America Chevrolet. And today the hardware is going to go to the 21 machine. Pat, I just got to say, man, how nerve-wracking is it tiptoeing around here in Dover, knowing that everybody's blowing right rear tires and just wondering if you've used up a little too much or where you're at on it?
Yeah, I mean, last 10 laps, I was like, I was just sitting there hoping I wasn't going to blow a tire. I mean, other people were. I felt like I had kind of a number for race pace that last run where I was like, all right, if I, once I get to this number, if I maintain that number, I should be able to make it to the end with tires and fuel. And I just worked, man. We just had to kind of commit to something and stick with it.
And it's impressive to me, too, because I felt like you were going really hard at a lot of points in that race, especially, with you in the battle with Tommy and, on that initial restart. I didn't think that 21 machine was going to have the longevity. So what was necessarily the secret to keep that right rear preserved?
Man, I think honestly, I mean, a lot of it goes to just working with my teammate Matt, and honestly, like I'll shout out Team Conti Sim Performance. I mean, this was the first track where I really learned how to save tire, and when I did that, I was over with them. A lot of practice there, guys, Michael Conti, and credit to them. I mean, they did a good job teaching me how to run this track, and I've always been appreciative of that. It's a special place for me, just being able to learn how to, really where I learned how to manage tires and try to balance wear through the run. And so credit to them, but a lot of it's just a ton of, this is one of my favorite tracks in the sim. It's just a lot of time on this track, a lot of races run, and just a lot of practice.
So you've been a driver that I've covered consistently for the last year and a half, however long I've been in the booth. And I've seen these races fall out of your hands every which way possible. How's it feel to finally have Lady Luck tip a hat in your direction for a change?
So it's funny you say that, because between this league Thursdays and Full Length Cup we run Saturday nights, Matt and I literally were talking about that before we got in the booth. We're like, dang man, it's good to finally get one of these strategy calls that goes our way for once. I mean, we literally said that just a few minutes ago. So yeah, man, it's nice. It's good. It's good to win, especially at a technical track like this where we can show it's not something where it's just, you're in a pack, you're at a plate track or something, come out with a win. It's more so luck. I mean, this is a demanding track, and I love winning here because I always just think it's impressive to bring a car here where you can get up front, win, have long run pace. So shout out to Matt. I mean, Matt did a really good job getting the car where it needed to be this week. I've been out of town through yesterday, so I mean, he already had the car pretty dialed, and then just for me personally, I just had to make a couple of tweaks to get it where I wanted, just for my personal style, and it was money. So shout out to him. He did an awesome job with it.
Well, Patrick, anybody else you want to thank and shout out for this resounding performance this evening?
Yeah, man, you guys in the booth for calling the race. Johan Seminario, he did this paint for me. I'm a big RCR fan. I grew up about 20 minutes from their shop. So love running the 21, love running something that's kind of an RCR looking scheme if it's not a replica. So shout out to him for that. Then Fortis Motorsports in general, primarily Matt and I building cars every week. It's fun for us to go out and compete against the best and try to do something between us two to put up a fight and be the small team that's still making some noise. So outside of that, shout out to the league. I mean, this was a great run to the end, long green flag run. So honestly, shout out to all the guys in the league, Matt for second place and Chris for third.
Well, thanks for coming up here and talking to us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, as we get ready to wind down here for the evening, Taylor, give me your final thoughts here on the evening.
Well, it seems like Miles the Monster is going to go hungry tonight because of how well the racing was. And overall, great to see the strategy call formed by Patrick Gitter to take home the checkered flag in a very amazing fashion, and just shows you guys that Dover is a track that can provide some surprising winners with the right strategy call.
Yeah, it's absolutely, my final piece of it is just this is probably the best race that I've had the opportunity to call the 2 years that I've been doing this on iRacing. I always expect the OB Builders Cup to bring something special to the track, but they really delivered on it this evening. So huge shout out to all the drivers first and foremost. But on that, from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks to Andrew Cardinal of Whiplash Sim Cams for providing the cams used on a day's broadcast. As well, another congratulations to Patrick Gitter on winning tonight's race from Dover. This has been Sheldon Atkins. I've been joined in the booth by Taylor Burris and our wonderful fearless leader, producer, Austin Derbyshire. And we will see you next time on The Grid.